Welcome to the Sonoma County Winegrape Commission's Winegrape Chronicles. In this monthly series, we'll follow several Sonoma County growers and winemakers through a typical winemaking season, giving you a glimpse into the process behind making some of the world's finest wines.
I'm Joe Dutton of Dutton Ranch, here in the Russian River Valley of Sonoma County, where my brother and I and family farm 1,100 acres of grapes and 200 acres of apples. Him and I are both fifth-generation farmers here in Sonoma County. We're here at a block of Pinot Noir that Bill Hunter here from Chasseur Wines has been making this wine from this block since 1997, the first vintage. This vineyard was planted for him in his winery. This is a pruning style, it's cordon arm pruning. We've come through and just pre-pruned, and now our foreman Juan Sanchez, who's been working for the ranch for 40 years, is down making the final cuts, and we can go down and see what he's doing down there and see the vine get pruned. Well, here we are actually pruning the vines. This is, like I said, this is cordon style pruning, where Juan is pruning all the growth that grew all last year that was all up in here. He's pruning back down to just 2 bud spurs down close to this cordon arm. This is what this is called. This is where the new shoots will start growing out of that bud. They'll start growing up, and that's what we'll keep up in the trellis here for this next growing season. You can see this, like it looks like water right here. The sap's starting to move, so we're getting really close to bud break. Probably in about 2 weeks, we'll see some buds coming through and the new green growth starting to grow. This is a spur position here. We're trying to leave 8 to 10 of these per vine. One, to control the vigor of the vine. Pinot Noir is a very vigorous growing vine, so you know, we're not here to just grow canes and wood. We want to, you know, have a nice crop of fruit also. To kind of balance out the vine. Balanced vine makes the best wine. So that's why we're pruning back to leaving the 8 to 10 spurs, 2 bud spurs, which will make then each bud, you figure on 2 bunches of grapes coming from each bud. You know, this will be 4 bunches of grapes from each spur coming out of here, you know, 40 bunches per vine. And I'll just do a little pruning here. We like to keep things low, so we'll always prune back to what looks the best here, but keeping things growing straight also. So here's a nice 2 bud spur, nice looking wood. The wood's just the right size. It's not too big. The spur, some spurs get really, really big and tall. We try to keep things low, and this size here, this is perfect right here. This is just a volunteer cover crop, which means it just grew on its own. We cultivate this vineyard, so what'll happen is we'll sweep all these canes into the row, and then they'll get mulched into the ground as an organic matter builder for the soil, which is a sustainable practice, which is one we use. This is a cultivated vineyard. It helps us use a little less water during the summertime, and I believe it grows some excellent Pinot Noir here for Bill. Okay, now that we've checked out the pruning here in the vineyard, Bill, if it's all right with you, if we could go down to the winery and taste the wine from last harvest, that'd be great.
Yeah, let's do that. It's my favorite part. Okay, now that we're here to see how we're handling the fruit that Joe brings in from the Sylvia's block of the Dutton Ranch, we're all about gentle handling and small lot fermentation. The fruit is destemmed. We try to keep the berries fully intact. Once we have the berries destemmed into the bin, we'll take it back and we'll drop these stainless steel chiller plates to do a cold soak.
Cold soak, you guys do that to extend out the fermentation and get more color and...
Right, we try to drag the fermentation on, but we're also looking for a little bit of extraction without those short bittering tannins, so we have a smoother, rounder wine. Once we let the fermentation go, typically indigenously, or that's the natural yeast that's on the grapes that come in, we'll throw in a stainless steel screen on top of the cap and push it down to keep the cap submerged, and that's obviously what's known as a submerged cap regime. After fermentation is finished, we'll go direct to press. We don't use any pumps, and then we fill the barrels from the tank after we press off the must, and then we'll let it age for a year.
You're ready to go, fermentation's over, the fruit that's in this bin, you just lift it up and
right.
Rotate it right into the press?
We do. We come in with a forklift, and we go right direct to press into a hopper, and so we're not using any pumps, nothing to shear the skins and create excessive bitterness. Joe, here's a barrel sample of the 07 Sylvia's from the Dutton Ranch. I really like this vintage. Just came into the winery, perfect condition, great fruit, concentration, color, everything.
Right, color looks great.
Yeah, well, we went to barrel with this about, well, it was about 3 weeks after fermentation was complete, so it's been in here since mid to late October. We'll bottle this up in December.
Sylvia's block is a small block of vineyard and just only has a few tons every year. 4 tons is on the bigger side. So what are your plans from here?
These are big wines. A lot of big black fruit. It's going to take some time to come around. We're thinking about leaving this in the barrel until December. We'll rack it off the primary lees and hopefully get it bottled up after that and give it another 6 months, 10 months in the bottle.
Boy, it's great right now.
Before release.
It's ready. I think it's ready to go right now.
Yeah,
looks great, and let's give it a try. Tastes great too. That's very nice. Great job, Bill.
Thanks, Joe.
Bill, when will this wine be released to be out there in the market?
Well, actually, Joe, we give it quite a bit of time in the bottle. So this is destined for release in the fall of '09.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, but we have the '06 in bottle, and it'll be released in the fall. So what do you say we try that?
Oh, that'd be great. Let's go try it.
Right. Joe, I'd like to tell you a little story about how I got into the wine business. I was a wine steward in Los Angeles at a restaurant, and back in the '70s, and I saw tried a bottle of Kistler Dutton Ranch, and
Chardonnay,
I was so overwhelmed that I said, "This has got to be my calling." So,
well, so you made that dream come true right here with some Pinot Noir from the Dutton Ranch.
About 15 years ago, I started making wine for a little winery up in Geyserville, and started to put my own project together, the Chasseur brand.
Yeah, we started working with you when you were at that winery in Geyserville.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's try these, and
I think there's a lot of nice kola nut, black fruit.
Yeah, and this would be good with
well, nice grilled steak.
Yeah,
maybe some roast duckling.
Yeah, have a nice. Yeah, it'd be great. Well, here's to many more harvests, Bill.
Salute.
Excellent wine.